Congressman Mike Rogers, the top Republican in the House Armed Services Committee, said the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki needs to apologize to members of the Space Force for what he called a disgraceful comment that came yesterday afternoon. I want to welcome in our all-star political panel. We start with our White House correspondent, Emerald Robinson, former New York Congresswoman Nan Hayworth, Project 21 National Advisory Board member Christopher Arps from Tyler, Texas, I recently found out, political analyst Mark Halperin, and constitutional attorney Amir Benno. Emerald, we're going to start with you. I want to play you a soundbite from Jen Psaki yesterday as she responded to one of the questions there during the press briefing. Yeah, take a listen.
They asked whether the president has made a decision on keeping the scope of Space Force.
Wow, Space Force. It's the plane of today. It is an interesting question. I am happy to check with our Space Force point of contact. I'm not sure who that is. I will find out and see if we have any update on that. Go ahead.
Emerald, thoughts? I don't know what the plane of today means, by the way. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that you saw Psaki do a quick about face because you actually got the reaction shot of the Bloomberg reporter when she was being a little more cynical initially about his question. He's, made a face and you couldn't understand what he said, but clearly he was confused by her reaction as well. And then she quickly said, oh, yeah, well, that's an interesting question. And, she didn't know who the point of contact was. But she's got a lot of backlash on that on Twitter. She actually put out something about Space Force in a tweet. Space Force is pretty popular. It played well with the public, so that didn't do her any favors.
Yeah, Nan, I can tell you've got something to say.
Today explanation.
Mark, do you have an explanation? I have no idea what she was referring to. Maybe trying to be clever.
And it shows further how she was trivializing the Space Force. In a previous briefing, she was asked questions about whether Joe Biden was going to paint Air Force One different colors.
Right.
And she thought that was kind of a trivial matter to be brought up in an early White House briefing. So her statement, her comparison was basically like, this is another trivial topic that I don't know why anyone would care about.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. Daily
okay.
Mail asked that question before about the plane, didn't they?
Exactly.
Jen Psaki.
Let me show you that Space Force tweet, Nan, then I want to get to you. Jen Psaki put this out because she got the backlash that Emerald was just mentioning. We look forward to the continuing work of Space Force and invite the members of the team to come visit us in the brief. Important work. And I think I'm trying to give Jen Psaki the benefit of the doubt here because it's a very challenging job, but she's not making it easy, Nan Hayworth.
Well, she could have the easiest job ever because she's so, a Democratic administration is so welcomed by the White House press corps. She is the participation prize press secretary.
Right.
I'm going to show up and you're just going to, like everything I say. Even that tweet, unfortunately, in the follow-up to her initial flippancy makes the Space Force sound as though it's getting short shrift. And, she can up her game. I hope she will. Sean Spicer has spoken very kindly of her attitude toward him when he was taking over as press secretary. So let's hope for better.
Yeah, Sean said she was really helpful to him.
Yeah, and from all reports, she seems like a perfectly nice person, Emerald. I know that you know her a little bit. Chris, I want to, if somebody asked, and I mean this totally serious, this is not tongue-in-cheek. If somebody asked President Trump what his favorite ice cream flavor was, if he was out getting ice cream, I don't think he would know how to answer it because he's never gotten a polite question ever. I think he would be, for the first time ever, speechless, Chris.
I agree totally. I mean, it's been from day one. Their headline that it's time to impeach the president. So they were against him from day one.
Hey, Chris, hold that thought. We've got some. We're going to check your audio. We've got some audio problems. But Emerald, it's let's see, it's 8:20 in New York right now. What time do you have to submit your questions for the afternoon briefing by?
I'll be honest, I was never asked. I've had reporters from other outlets reach out to me who have been doing this story to ask if the White House ever reached out to me. No. So they haven't. But I do know that was discussed on a Zoom meeting with the White House press corps. I wasn't able to do that town hall that they had, and I was actually a little surprised that there was that much backlash for it in the White House press corps because I do know that questions have been planted before.
Right.
So it was actually a little bit encouraging to see that people didn't think that was ethical because we shouldn't be giving our questions in advance.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think, Amir, imagine if the Trump administration, imagine if Kayleigh McEnany or Sarah Huckabee Sanders or Sean Spicer had made that same request a couple years ago. I mean, there would have been backlash, right?
Yeah, there would have been, and there would have been the complaint that there's, this is a suppression of the free press, and there's, you got to be able to catch them off guard somewhat. And the press obviously wanted to get those gotcha moments with President Trump. Here, I don't know that there's something so nefarious behind it. Perhaps it's because she's gotten so much attention for her circle back remarks that she wants to be able to be, briefed and capable of responding to questions without having to punt on them. So, I guess time will tell.
Chris, welcome back.
Thank you.
We got everything fixed up.
What I was going to say, it's no secret that China is our greatest military and economic threat right now. And they have made no secret that they want to go into space and probably dominate space. So Space Force is a very important part of our armed services. I'm proud of the fact that one of the early members of Space Force was chosen from here in St. Louis. So I think her being flippant was not a good thing at all, especially when it comes to our national security.
Yeah, I don't think the White House press secretary would say the same thing when the Air Force was established, back in the 1940s. I want to play a soundbite from Kamala Harris yesterday. She's trying to justify all the people that are about to lose jobs because of these executive orders that President Biden has signed. Over 40 now in the first 14 days in office. I'm going to play the soundbite. Then Nan, will start with you and get reaction. Take a listen.
All of those skilled workers who are in the coal industry and transferring those skills to what we need to do in terms of dealing with reclaiming abandoned landmines.
Nan, we'll go to you. Then Emerald, obviously, I'd like to hear from you as well.
Yeah, clearly the vice president doesn't know a lot about the coal industry. Obviously, these are not landmines. Now, that's, an inadvertent error, presumably. But it's illustrative of her, unfortunately, general tendency to speak off the cuff without really having, really conveying that she cares about a subject in depth. And especially when you're talking about workers losing jobs. This is thousands of jobs that have already been eliminated by the stroke of a pen with the Keystone Pipeline. Right. This is a very serious subject. Deserves far more serious treatment. Yeah,
I don't mind we all make the little verbal flubs there. That's not a big deal. I just think, and Emerald, your dad was a coal miner. I just think she seems so inauthentic.
Well, and it kind of goes back to what we saw from Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election cycle, where she spoke disparagingly of coal mining jobs, and that did her no favors in that area. I remember back in the day, it was a very blue area because it was union workers, it's the working class, and that used to be the party of the working class. I did ask, though, if the vice president found those landmines yet, but that's pretty consistent with what we've seen with Democrats who are very focused on climate change, talking about people like coal miners who should just go find another job. And it's just simply not that simple. They did enjoy some gains in workforce and jobs during the Trump administration. It had been pretty bleak before then, and they saw a pickup. But they're very worried about what's going to happen under this administration in the area that I come from and how they'll support their families.
Yeah. Mark, final thought. It seems like this administration, they've only been in office for a couple of weeks now, but they seem very coastal-centric, concerned with the West and East Coasts and forgetting about what really makes America, America, and that's what's in the middle.
Well, they are from the coast. It's been a while since we've had a White House made up of two people from the coast, I think. And, these are two, president and vice president, who throughout their careers have made a lot of gaffes. And so now I think we're going to see whether the gaffes that they've made throughout their careers become kind of a dominant storyline for this administration, or whether they can up their game a little bit.
All right, Mark, I want you to brush up. You're back with us on Friday, I believe. The panels on Friday are going to be fully dedicated to Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, Florida.
Really?
No politics, Emerald. Fully dedicated.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll be
now
ready.
I
As long as
have
that
to do homework.
5 segments. My producers are telling me to wrap. I know. All right, guys.
Tampa, right?
And brush up, Amir, too.
Up.
Yeah, from Tampa. It's in Tampa. Tom Brady at home. Panel, thank you very much. Emerald, good to see you. Glad we got to see you today. All right.